Oh, I guess I'm live. Okay. Uh, hey everybody. I know there's nobody on the stream right now, but I know someone could see it later. So here we go. This is the first live stream, first of DefCello. My artist name. My name is John Crawford. I'm a multi instrumentalist, although cello is my main. I also have been composing since high school when a jazz band that I was playing in happened to have a project where we wrote music, and I took to it like water and kept on swimming. I've been very off and on over the years, and very recently, as of the past year or so, I've really started to push towards becoming more. Um, let's see, capture moments. Uh, I uh, crap. I forget what I was even gonna say. Anyways, I write music, and it's all for fun. I love it. I enjoy it. I make some pretty cool stuff, I think. It's still just a hobby. I don't anticipate it ever will be anything more than that, but I'm putting it out here for you guys to check it out. If you think it should be more than just a hobby, I'd love to hear from you, and I welcome your support. All right, so what we got going on here is this is my studio. I apologize for the mess. I just noticed it in the back. I haven't cleaned in a while, but I've got a guy coming by who will be, he's a younger guy. Don't think he's even graduated high school yet, but he's going to be checking out the studio. He's been interested in composing, wants to see a setup, see what can be done. There's all kinds of stuff, but that's what I'm working on right now. And so I'll be cleaning up later. All right. So apparently, OBS says I should be streaming at a higher rate, but um, whatever. I will deal with that later. Uh, so, sorry for the mess. We are inside of my studio. You can see a couple keyboards over here. This one doesn't work. I pulled it off the street, and it doesn't work. Apparently, the Lagrima brand has a really bad habit of not working. So I need to open it up, see if I can fix it. Maybe there's a loose cable or something. But all that to say, we are in my studio, and I am working on a track called Victim of War. This very um, uh, intense track. The first track, and perhaps the only track I'll ever do with explicit lyrics. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to play this explicit lyrics in this session, just for the sake of any sensitive folks hopping in at any time in this live stream. I do have a clean version that I will be using for the production. The vocals are done by a guy named artist named Pseudonym. He's a guy I've gigged with in the past. Awesome. I did not expect him to be quite so awesome at doing rap vocals, but he is. I tried to do it. I thought it was decent, but my wife said that no, you are not good at this. You should not be doing this if you plan on releasing this to the public. So that's what I'm going to do. But Pseudonym hopped on after I sent out play Facebook, and he did the vocals. They're awesome. You may or not be hearing them today. They are not the focus of my session right now. What I do have, and let me pull up my main screen, is Reaper, my preferred DAW of choice, and a whole slew of stuff going on. This is the lyrics, and I'm not the focus of this session is not to do an exploration of the track. What it is I don't release very often, but I understand that the process of producing music is pretty cool. And especially for my style of music, I really invest a lot of time into the details. I'm not throwing a track down every day, although I probably should because I get too much into the details, but I don't. And so that's how I am. And hopefully, well, this is just an experiment to see if anyone thinks this is kind of cool and wants to sit in on these sessions and see the process, see what kind of things happen to happen inside of my studio, because that's the whole point of this music studio, is to make things happen and have some fun, make cool music. And that's what we're working on today. So, what I was just working on before I decided to fire up this live stream is I've got the singer, pseudonym. I know him as Macon, but pseudonym. He has. We've been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth about this particular section, which is a. I actually need to censor that. Let's do that real fast. There we go. That should be a little better. There we go. Now, if any explicit words, if I zoom in on particular spots on the markers, I won't show any bad words. Nice. Okay. So there's this particular spot in the lyrics where I have been switching to a 5/4. And, oh shoot, did I not delete that extra beat? I didn't need to delete that extra beat. I need to do that. Crap. Alright, well, we'll be doing some of that too. Let me let Macon know what I did. He hasn't even seen the message yet. Let me see if I can fix it before he sees it. So I have this 5/4 in here, and it goes. Let me see if I can fake it here. Why you raising your fist? Just raging animosity and now rocking. Then what the heck, man? I'm just trying it. My only narrative working. There's been a lot of contention inside of this particular segment, and one of the things that has been brought up is the fact that this is 5/4 instead of 4/4, and so there's that extra beat in there, which makes room for the rocket's hiss, and that hiss requires some time, and in order to give it that time, I don't give it too much time, but I gave it a 5/4, and just one extra beat is more of a pause than anything, but it is a pause. It does mess with the 4/4 flow, which is not as dominant as the beat by beat, but it is still a flow, and flow is very important in rap, and it's being affected. So I've been experimenting, and this has been one of the experiments that I've carried through, is expanded this out to a 4/4. So instead of rock as hiss, extra beat, it's hiss, 4 beats. So that it covers a full measure, and then we can jump right in. But what the heck, man? And then the heck lands on the 1. But let's see. I need to change this to a 4/4. Is there any way I can get rid of that beat gracefully? I mean, I guess I could inject a whole second measure. Oh man, what can I do there? I need to delete that segment. Again, I'm a hobbyist. I'm still learning how to do. There's still so much stuff I don't know how to do in here. I don't want to insert empty space. I want to delete space. Make sure nobody's watching. Okay, yeah, nobody's watching, so it's okay. Delete. What happens if I just change that to 4/4? All right, so I just changed it to 4/4. It didn't delete the beat, and it just left everything pushed out. That's really awkward. Let's see if we can do better. All right, I think this is what I'm going to have to do. Let's duplicate the 4/4, insert empty space. I'm going to copy 4 beats there. Just, can I copy everything? Copy within time selection. That looks promising. And then we're going to move up to there, and then we're going to paste. See what happens. It won't let me paste. What the heck? All right, I guess I have to select all this stuff. Yeah, what a mess. Is this before? No, that's some other stuff. Although it does look like this was before I glued. What? Oh, yeah, because I just inserted that. I'm a mess, man. Okay, copy. Oh, I can show my screen again. That'll be nice. There we go. Now you can see what I'm doing. All right, so we're trying to copy that segment 4 beats so that I can then paste them into Shift-C, and now we're going to paste them into the 4/4. That did not go well. Why didn't that go well? That went better. Still not lining up. Let's see what happens. There! That looks like it worked. Okay. And so that's 4 beats worth of stuff. And now I should be able to just delete that measure. Easier said than done. View, item, delete. Where's delete measure? Delete measure. That's what I want to do. Options, actions. I think this is a thing. Delete. Delete notes, trailing, delete. I'm gonna try just measure. Let's see what kind of create measure, move, ruler, set project. I guess I could just convert. Oh man, there's gotta be a better way to do this. Bring up browser, Reaper, delete measure. Make assign selection, and then right click, remove contents of selection. Times right click, remove. I'm not seeing remove. Oh, there it is. Oh, hey, that might have worked. All right, let's see how that sounds. All right. It's looking like I need to make that a little. Can I bump up that mic volume a little bit? Probably inside of here. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little better. All right. A little bit more balance for you guys. All right. Okay, there we go. That actually sounds pretty good. Now let me render that and get that to the singer before he notices that I still had a 5/4 in there. All right, render. So for anyone who's looking at this that knows what they're seeing here, this is a rough render. This is not a proper mix or master, and so there's a lot of dynamic range going on, a lot of fluctuations. That's to be expected. I'm going to do a mix, just not now. Right now the focus is on the notes, and the mixing is happening inside of the context of I'm surprised there's no region name on that. What? Yeah, why isn't there a region on that? I think we've got something messed up here. Okay, we've got that. Render. There we go. My time selection wasn't complete, I guess. So, at this level, some of y'all might not know what the difference between mixing and mastering is. I barely know it myself. But basically, there's a phase of your recording stuff. You're putting it down, you're laying it out in tracks, and then you can play through it, but there's not really a lot of strategy. Uh, you're not pulling in plugins or anything like that to make things happen. Um, you're just there to throw the audio down, get it stacked up, and there is a lot of thought going into this stage, which is if I have vocals going on, I shouldn't be having other things that are crowding out the vocals. Or if I got drums or bass, I should be picking bass sounds that don't interfere too much with the bass, with the kick, and vice versa. If I one of the things you have to choose when you're making a track is what's going to have the power. Is it going to be the bass or is it going to be the kick? In this case, it's actually not a full black and white decision. And in this case, the bass is going to get the bulk of the punch. And being a rap track is like boom, boom, boom. I want the boom, boom, boom to be kind of the, for those of you who have systems out there that can rattle the neighbor's windows, I want the bass to be rattling the windows, not the kick. The kick is there for the poof, but not for the boom. Uh, and so anyways, those are the kind of decisions that we're making, so that ideally when we go to the next phase, which is mixing, that is where we're going to end up. And we're going to have a much better time adjusting things when they're already in decent shape. You can't polish a turd, and in this case, you want the original material before you go into mixing to be as good as you can be without doing actual mixing. That's when you're like, okay, I want to carve out this space for our vocals. I want to carve out this space for the drum, for the kick, for the transients, which are usually overheads and cymbals, for the toms, for the snare. I'm tweaking all of those to sound the way they need to sound inside of the mix, as they call it. I often like to think of it in a live session where if you go to see a concert, you got the guy running the soundboard. His job is the mix. And then of course making sure that it sounds good to the audience. I imagine there's something equivalent to mastering at that level, although mastering, anyways, mix is there. You got people making sounds, and you want to make sure that the sounds they're making cooperate. A good band is going to be easy to mix. A less good band is going to need a bit more forceful influence over what's going on. And then moving on to once you got the mix going, everything's melding together, it sounds nice. That's when you're like, okay, mixing's done. I'm going to open up my mastering tools and do master. In a formal environment, mixing and mastering are done by two different people. This is not a formal environment. I've got a horde behind me of various audio equipment and empty boxes that I haven't cleaned up because I've been too busy with gigs. This is not a formal environment, although maybe some formal environments look similar. What this is a home studio. And so what I do in the mastering stage, your goal in the mastering stage is to make it sound as good as possible on as many systems as possible, whether it's a cell phone, it's a computer, it's a phone over a call waiting, it's in a nice car system, it's in a crappy car system, it's over a loudspeaker in a restaurant, it's in a hi-fi studio environment like this. You want it to sound good in all of those places, and that's what the mastering is for. It's generating the master that gets sent out to everything else. Back in the old days, this is what would be sent to the record press to actually press the records. So now that we have our audio track, let's see, this is 244. Double check, make sure it sounds good. Intro's pretty good. I'm not gonna listen to the whole thing. but let's see. Alright, that sounds pretty good.
Hearing on the news is a guy on line. Why you raising your fist? So raging animosity and that rockin' shit. Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying to live. Screw your hell. Go back, hope you work together.
Alright, so that sounds pretty good. Let's slap that up onto OneDrive before, so that the singer can see it. Alright, there we go. Let's see if he's seen that message yet. If he hasn't, then I'll just assume that he... I'll just go and tell him. FYI, I just uploaded a correct 2x44 because I forgot to delete the delete the extra beat. I'll just say that. Delete the extra beat. There we go. Now he's happy. And now I can get back to what I wanted to do. Word. All right. So we have this thing. We've got 8-beat block, and I'm trying to make that 8-beat block sound less lame.
Why you raising your fist? So raging animosity and that rockin' shit. Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just
Not
trying
too
to live.
bad. Not too bad. But it's clearly a loop. And that was just me being lazy because I want to get him something because he wants to track some stuff back in his place. I think he's out in Ohio. So I wanted to get that to him real fast. But now that he's got it, I can focus on some other things. And one of the things we got going on in here that I think would be quite nice to fill in is this use of, let's see, women's choir.
Looking at the sky past a bird.
So what I've got in this track is this interlude after we go into some chorus. This is the plug-in Venus Women's Choir by I don't want to get it wrong since I am on record. Where's the... Oh, come on. There's got to be a company name on here. I don't want to say the wrong name. Fine. I can't believe they didn't brand their GUI. That seems a little silly. So let's see. Venus Women's Choir. VST. Sound Iron. They are the ones who made this. And so they have two different versions. One is a Latin version. One is a Church Slavonic version. And according to ChatGPT, it's not actually 100% Church Slavonic. So this is more of a pseudo-Church Slavonic, because I also had ChatGPT generate some stuff, and then I put it back into ChatGPT, and it said, this doesn't make any sense. So it is what it is. Maybe in a future session, I've been entertaining the idea of switching it to Latin, because Latin's at least a bit better. The translation's a lot more standardized, a lot more accessible. We'll see. But for now, we've got this choir. Dear God, you are our soul. Please be our Savior. And this, without getting too much into lyrics, this track was inspired by a number of war situations that are going on around the world, especially the one in Ukraine against Russia. Um, that I hear the testimonies, I hear the stories, and I feel for those people. I feel for the people that are in there because they are people. I feel for the people everywhere. But anyways, I feel the terror, and a lot of I feel for that, and I also I'm afraid that whenever I think about how that would look here in my own home, it's terrifying. And that emotion is what is fueling this track. This track started fairly basic. If anyone's been on my Facebook as a friend, I've shared this in the past. This is pretty much how the track started. It was just an idea that I threw down back in during COVID in 2020. Ah, it's so cool. I freaking love it. But this was just an idea. It was that, and then all these things happened, and eventually I was doing a gig as a cellist at a local church, and they did a Ukraine focused service where they were like, "Hey, we've got missionaries out in Ukraine. They're here to work on." Oh, I'll have to hide that. Turn off all notifications. There we go. I don't want to be showing that. That's my wife telling me how many times she sees the groundhog every day. Anyways, this I did this church service for Ukraine Center. They have a sister church out in Ukraine since well before the conflict. And so they've been experiencing this through the missionaries and friends and relationships they have there in Ukraine. And they had a service that they had planned for a while. And they had the missionary fly over to here so that he could answer questions, share testimony. And so we could just appreciate what's going on, what it looks like to be, in this case, a United Methodist church inside of a war-torn country. It's pretty cool. And so I was really, really moved by that. And then I got back to hearing this, and I was like, there's a song here. And that's when I started writing this. And so that's why I saw the church Slavonic. Slavonic is a very old version in a religious context of what a lot of the Slavic languages are today, based on my research, and it could be wrong. I apologize if it is, but based on my research, it is kind of it's similar to Latin in a lot of ways, in that it was the root of a lot of other languages that bloomed out from there, on the order of millennia. Millennia. So that's where we are now, and so that's why I chose Church Slavonic by Sound Iron in Venus Women's Choir. And I used ChatGPT to kind of translate the phrases that were already in, and then come up with some tweaks. It recommended some suffixes, like for example, inside of the first one, there's a E sound at the end. Yeah, Gospodi instead of Gospot, which was what was in the original library. And that Shah which I'm still trying to get right. The ah sound is what ChatGPT said was appropriate to have there, and honestly, it's a better way to end a phrase inside of singing than just shh. Yes, they do shh. I mean, if that's the right word, just right word. We can make use of it. In that case, it would be more like a do sha. But do sha ah is a much better vowel to be sustaining inside of a vocal context. And then finally, yakospasa. That is 100% straight from the library, but I did end up using the ahs to extend that out because the library was cutting it off, and or I don't think the library was actually cutting it off. I was I wanted more voices added on as it progressed, which that'll be another session that I want to do, and that's why we ended up having this guy. Nice. So that's what we got. And I want some of that energy in other parts of the song. And I think I'm going to make use of that is specifically over here. So let's pull in our stuff here. We got that. And then I thought I glued that. Apparently probably because I did that cut earlier. Let's re-glue it. And then there it is. There's the drop. Okay, so that's where it's going to happen. Let me turn back on his vocals. So what I'm thinking right now is kind of like, yo, what the heck, man? There's a pause. It's kind of awkward. I want to keep that energy up, but I'll give room for his to happen, give room for the pickups to yo, what the heck? Yo, what the heck? That's where the downbeat is. We need that extra space before the downbeat, and we can't have them overlapping. Otherwise, it's not a performance anymore. It's a produced track, and I really want this to be performable, and so we need that extra time, either one beat, or in this case we're going to have 4 beats. So I keep getting lost. Story of my life. All right, so we have this, and let's see how that sounds. Then his starts over there. So let's move you. That note there on the bottom is my word selection. And this is the actual note that they sing. Okay. I'm kind of digging it. So I like the vibe, but it's not fitting in. So I need to tweak that. So let's pull up our GUI. So our GUI here, this library has some pretty cool stuff, and one of them is that they have alternate versions often, although it doesn't look like we actually have an alternate version for Yakospasa. Some of them they'll do it faster instead of the kind of, so Yakospasa, they'll be like Yakospasa, but I'm not seeing that going on here. I wonder if there's another way I can speed this up. I'm not seeing a speed option. There's a cross blend against the low and the high you see there. Polyphony, that's fine, but that's not really going to help me. Release volume, I assume, is what that is. Yeah, release sample volume. Attack, offset, sample offset. That tells me that it would start faster. This is 90%. Like, not 90%. It's like half of my studio time. It's to be like, how the heck do I do that? There's a consequence of being a hobbyist with being overly doing things that are beyond the comfort zone. All right, so we have. So Yako Spasa, which is supposed to be save us or savior. That's just a little slow. So let's get the entrance right first, and then we'll get the speed. Maybe. Let's keep this right. Yako Spasa. He's come in earlier. This has been this whole situation in this area. This is so sensitive, this whole section. You rock us his. Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying to live. My friends and family, my only narrative. That this is where we shift from the person is observing what has happened to their inner monologue of what is happening, why is this happening. That's where we are right now, and that this transition is so hard. And then once we get through it, it's awesome, because then we go back into observing the environment, what's happening. But now you come with your bottles, with the planes, with the tanks, with the guns, yada yada yada. All right, let's mute this and just see what sounds like in my head. We'll back it up a measure so we have some bit more context. Yako Spasa. Okay, how did that happen? Yako Spasa. Alright, so that's pretty much coming in on the downbeat. Maybe I can preempt it a bit. Oh, let's unmute it, Howard. Okay, I like it. Alright. Yako Spasa. Now we get to have some fun. Now we got the timings right. We've got other. Let's pull in some harmony, because just that on its own doesn't have that oomph that we need. And this track is all about oomph. It's war. It's emotional. It's not just emotional like watching a sad movie. This is like raw, like what the heck? Why is my life being torn apart emotional? So we've got to be intense the whole way through. All right, so make sure I get this glued in. I'm sure there's a more efficient way to do this, but I don't know it. Go ahead and glue a few of these other things so I can stop dealing with it. All right, that's metronome. Anything else up here? I'll probably get a little carried away at this point. I'll at least glue the MIDI. And by what I mean by glue is each of these, you notice how right now, if I select over here, I've got two different objects happening. And that's because when I deleted that 5/4 measure, it split. And so when I'm going into my editor, if I have multiple objects going on, then it doesn't really flow well. It doesn't switch between the two very nicely. When I glue that selected area, that white area, you can notice that's darker, this is lighter. That's because this is selected. I can select that if I want to, but I'm selecting the whole time duration of the track, and I'm then going in and saying glue this item, which means that it's going to take any of the pieces and then glue them together so that they form one cohesive piece. And that way, when I'm inside my editor, I will, it'll just all be one piece, and it'll be nice and easy to edit inside the piano roll view. All right, that looks pretty good. That's all vocal stuff, which that transitions pretty nicely. That's my track, which my wife calls the toothpaste version because it makes things white. I thought it sounded cool. I just needed more post-processing, but Pseudonym's just he's skilled. He has worked at it. He's developed it. I have not, and it shows. So we're going with his. And okay, so now that we're back to this, let's get back to what I was dealing with. All these interruptions, man. But that's the process. So we have, that's the version I just copied. So looks like we've got 2 harmonies. So we're going to do the same thing over here. Thankfully, I can see the ghost there so I can get my timings. So I'm overlapping them so that they transition in the same word. That's a legato encoding. And then I want it to release right on the downbeat for verse 3. And so that's going to be 1 harmony. Let's pull in this final harmony. Should be all we need, but I can add more if I need to. Got lots of RAM on this machine, thankfully. There. Let's see how that sounds. All right, I don't love how it carries through, so let's shorten that up a bit. It'd be lovely if I could edit all. Let's just do that one. All right, the ah didn't really speak. Okay, that cuts off a little nicer for the downbeat. Oh yeah, that needs to cut off before he comes in with the pickups. Yakos Basa. Yo, what the heck, man? Does that happen? Let's see how that sounds. I might find a different word, but we'll see. I also don't want to use the same harmonies as before. Okay, so I want that chaotic energy. Now rockets hiss. Rockets are hissing. Rockets are blamming. So we need that energy. Jako spasa. Let's see if we can really make the choir scream while staying in key. Ah, that's just grating. Ooh, I like that tension going into the G. 'Cause I believe this whole thing's in G minor. Let's see. I prefer to not just guess. That's not really gonna be helpful. That's gonna be helpful. All right, what we got? We got a G, B flat, D. Yeah, that's G minor. All right. So, and then we're going into B flat, D. Oh, we're going B flat major. Interesting. Except for the root G. Pretty sure that's a G. Boom, boom. Yeah. So we're still in G minor 7. Uncle Spasson, bum bum. All right, I like that F sharp. That gives that tension going into the G. Uncle Spasson. Okay, that's a B flat. I don't like the lower end. Yankel. So we got a B flat and a F sharp. B flat, F sharp, aka G flat. This where my theory would be better. Let's do an octaves for that bigger sound. No. That's way too clean. All right, let's change the middle harmony there, so that's more. No, it needs to be minor. What is that? That is a, oh, it's 2. No. I hate when it does that. If you have it back, it becomes practically invisible. All right, we got B flat, C, and F sharp. If we flip that over, F sharp, A sharp, C. That is it's a F sharp major, but with the 5th flatted. Whatever. It sounds cool. That didn't sound good. What the heck? That didn't sound good at all. Dang. Oh, did I move that down? I kind of like what's happening there because that actually that we dropped that down. So what we got right now, B flat, D natural, and F sharp. So we have a B flat D with a sharp 5. I'm sure there's a term for that, but I don't know it. But what I do know is that when we go from there to this, it's the same chord, but with the 5th brought down to where you'd expect it to be for a G7. G, B flat, D, F, instead of a B flat, G. There's not even a G on that one. It's just B flat, D, and F sharp. So that resolves very nicely. The F sharp goes to the G and the F natural in the next measure. So I like that. I don't like how we don't have a lot of time to enjoy that. So let's see if I can play with the timings. Either I'm just going to make them do the same chord the whole way, Or I'm going to have them. Well, yeah, I can just move that, can't I? Yonkle spa saw. So where does the spa kick in? It's a solo one here. It almost did it, but then it did something weird transitioning. Yonkle spa saw is what I want. There we go. It's unfortunate I don't have better control over the timing of the word. Now they do have phrase builders available that could give me that control. All right, let's see how it sounds in context. Alright. So what I'm doing now is I'm transitioning the direction from an upward direction to a downward direction, which actually makes sense because the rockets are hissing. Yes, they're taking off, but they already took off earlier. They're landing now, so a downward motion makes a bit more sense. Still not loving it. A bit of Phantom of the Opera energy there. I want it to make a little more sense than that. So it does hold on for a nice long time if I don't let it go. Okay, it's just the normal ahs that cut off for some reason. Coffee. All right. Let's see how that sounds with the new harmonies. I don't hate it, but it needs more. You know what I want? And this gonna mean more work for me. But what I want is staccato. Yakos bassa. Dang it. Alright. Let's get in here. I wonder how much RAM I got going on. Where's my RAM? Where's my RAM? Alright. I've got a good chunk of RAM. Oh yeah, I got all the RAM, man. Okay, we good. It's old RAM, it's slow RAM, but it's good RAM. It's a nice RAM, a good RAM. Little Fiddler on the Roof reference there. Cleaning up a little bit of my splice work earlier. So, staccato. There's marcato sustains, but that's not what I want. I want marcato, boom, 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 boom. Duplicate tracks. Let's do that. Then I'll select the different library once that's loaded up. All right, so we loaded that. Now we're going to purge those. And this part is always tricky. Excuse me. Where is the search? Instrument nav. No, that's not it. You think there would be... let me try that. Venus. If I can spell it right. It's not showing up there. Okay. Just checking my notifications. Oh, my front yard camera has been going motion because there's like crazy wind out today. Okay. I need to be able to find instruments. You would think the database option would have... oh, that looks like a search. Venus? Okay, this looks promising. We have soprano, which I definitely want sopranos here. All vowel sustains, drone, effects, poops and hoots. These effects, crowds, laughter, screams. Ooh, screams could be useful. Whispering. Single o. Marcato phrase builder. Marcato phrase builder. That sounds promising. Staccato. That's what I want. Staccato. Light. Ultra light. I don't want light. I want all the things. I've got RAM, man. Let's use it. Venus staccato. That looks promising. I'll keep that selected until I find something else. Staccato, melodic phrases, stains, long staccatos. Long staccato. I guess it's like, no, which might be what I want. We'll find out. All vowel sustains, attacks. This is a little ridiculous, honestly. Effects. I saw effects earlier. Why am I seeing them again? Oh my gosh. All right, let's staccato. Let's start with that. That should... yeah, it's a bit more manageable. Soloist. I don't want soloist. I don't know what the H stands for. Yeah, let's load it up, see what happens. Yeah, there it goes. It's like, did I click it? I don't know. My computer's like 11 years old. It's pretty terrible. It's a great computer. It has been amazing. I should not bad talk it because it is awesome. You are a wonderful, wonderful computer. I hope you keep running forever until I can replace you. Meanwhile, we're waiting on this to load. All right. Let's see what we got. Not much of anything at the moment. There's probably a routing issue on my part. Oh, yeah. There it is. Let's get some actual volume. Let's see. There is the interlude. Bring that nice and up. It's really quiet, but we're getting some sound. Let's see if I can make it less quiet. I mean, that's at 0 dB. I'd expect that to be... oh, I think I see something funky going on here. I think there's a... no? So why are you saying negative 6.29? What? That says 0, and that says 6. What? That's weird. Let's just bring that envelope back in. All right, so what I'm tweaking now is, okay, that seems to have fixed it somehow. I wonder if I was in a weird spot. Anyways, I'm always in a weird spot. What am I talking about? Here we go. Bring that down, down, I say. All right, so what we got here? Let's see if I can split this up a little bit. Apparently that keyboard shortcut doesn't work in here. Lovely. Let's get the MIDI editor up. There it is. I've got 3 monitors. They're pretty big, so sometimes it's like, where did it show up? Where did it show up? Alright, there's our section. So with these libraries, in fact, let me delete what we got going on here, because that is completely outside of the realm of what we want to deal with. Alright, so now we're in here. The way these libraries work, all of them are different, except for the one themselves, of course. And they have, you see this keyboard down here, and it's got different colors. And these are color coded so that based off of their function. And usually there's 2 types of functions. There's either make a sound or a key switch, which a key switch is when you press it, it switches a switch somewhere that makes the behavior change. In this case, we have red key switches that select the syllables. So you can see that the thing blipping around as I'm clicking. Nice and staccato. Let's do doubling. I want it to be like bum, 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 bum. Which really, that's not really happening. So I think I need to get the marcato in here. Marcato. Okay, we got marcato sustains, marcato singles. Let's try marcato singles. I still don't know what that H stands for. Get ChatGPT to help out with that. ChatGPT. Here we go. ChatGPT. Sound Iron Venus Women's Choir. What does the H stand for behind some of the contact library instrument names? Hall. So it's got more ambience. I freaking love ChatGPT. This is, you know how hard that would have been to find. I would have had to dig out the documentation for this thing, although maybe it wasn't help. I don't know, but that's what it is. Okay, and I don't want Hall. I've got better reverb options. What I do want is Stage, which I assume that's the default. So, Marcato Builder. All that sounds promising. Yeah, let's load it up. I don't know why there's 2 of them, but let's load it up and see what happens. Coffee. This is Vanilla Macadamia Nut by Kahlua Coffee. It's a Hawaiian themed brand. I think it actually is from Hawaii, but it's at least themed from that. It's how good. Love that stuff. Here we go. Gosh, that's a lot of knobs. All right, no, you don't want legato. In fact, I'm a little disappointed. Yeah. All right, there's attack. Oh, that's interesting. Spol. Yeah. So that's what I want. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. Okay, come on, come on. Now, one thing I'm not seeing is key switches in order to select those phrases. How am I supposed to do that? Well, that's kind of annoying. I guess we'll move on to the next thing then. I feel like a more modern instrument would be laid out better. Phrase builder, maybe? That might simplify things a little bit. Oh, stretch the legs. See, if I did this as a non-hobby and actually had time to learn this stuff, it would go a lot faster because I'd know exactly what I wanted. This is why they say don't just buy every library on the sun. Buy the ones that you think you'll use and then learn how to use them. Because a library you can use effectively is infinitely more valuable than some brand shiny new library that you don't know how to use, because there's a learning curve involved. Okay. Yeah. Hey, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Clear. Yeah. Coal. Coal. There's K. I want coal. Oh my gosh. Are you seriously telling me there's no coal? Yeah, coal. Ah, really? They have K, but no coal. Nah, 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 nah. Let's see. Let's see if this is useful. K. Oh, it looks like the same stuff. Yeah, coal, spa, saw. Oh man, that's so disappointing. What kind of old sounds do we have? Maybe I can fake it. Ya goal. They have goal. Ya goal spa saw. It sounds close enough. Ya goal spa ya. Oh come on, guys. Good gosh. You've got the words. Right? You couldn't have trimmed that out. This is frustrating. Okay, let's purge that because that's not being useful at all. I'm wondering what happens if I change. Let's get this armed. So I can control it. Okay, so if I change the syllable while it's going, it's not going to reset. But if I re-attack, then it will change the syllable with moderately smoothly. So let's see if I can do a spol that way. Yaw. The yaw's easy at least. Yaw, coal. Yeah, yaw, which is a E flat. Jakobsbasa. Yeah, it's like that worked. Nope. There it goes. Jakobsbasa. Jakobsbasa. Spasa. Sorry. Use proper technique. Or at least better technique. Jakobsbasa. Jakob. Ja. Jakob. Let's make those visible so I can duplicate them a little easier. All right. Except that they disappear if you have them selected. Here. Jakobsbasa. Why is the release way up? Probably an envelope thing. No, that was a... Whatever. I'll take it down. If it goes back up, then I'll figure it out. Got anything else going on here? Nope. No. All right. Jakobsbasa. Not quite sure why I heard all of them. Maybe because they're visible? Why is this supposed to be... Oh, I guess it's marcato, but not staccato. Long staccatos. Drone staccatos. Whisper staccatos. Huh. I might need to do the... Because that's not staccato. I need it to be staccato. The release is... That's not terrible. Let's bump up the attack. I might be able to work with that. Jakobsbasa. Let's mute those for now. Cool. Alright, so now I need to find a good coal. Or goal. Coal. The nice thing about singing is sometimes you can just skip the consonant and just say ha ho ha sa ha ho ha. It doesn't work 100%, but you can cheat a few times at least. Let's see how that sounds. Coal. Jakobsbasa. Now they got like 3 different ol sounds. I wonder what the differences are. Okay, that's a lot more intense. I like the more rounded sound. I don't know how that'll mix in, but...
Yo, what the heck, man? Yo, what the heck, man?
Jakobsbasa. Yeah, what the heck, man? Jakobsbasa. Alright, let's get the harmonies back. So that one's going to be there. There. Spa. Sva. Sya. They got sya. They don't have spa, but they have xia. That might be good enough. Good enough for me. At least for now. I might end up hating it later. Spa saw. Now that's problematic because I don't want to be xia xia. You can get away with it once, but twice you're like, hey, I'm pretty sure that was on spa saw. As if someone was going to be paying attention. I'm paying attention, so it matters. Spa saw. Hey, there's a saw. Nice. I'm not loving it, but let's crank it up. Okay. How's that lining up? It's lining up well enough. The saw is really... It doesn't have that oomph that I'm looking for. I wonder what dynamics does. Oh yeah, there we go, there we go, there we go. That was a good knob to hit. Okay, we're making progress. Let's see how that sounds right now. Okay, so I think I know what's happening. The voices, even though I'm kicking it in an 8th note early, or 16th note early, the actual sound isn't happening for another quarter of a 30-second note. So if I lay it, bump that up a bit. We're making progress. Let me save this. Okay, something happens. We always save your work on a regular basis. Reaper does have a backup, auto backup thing, but I think oh yeah, let's turn on doubling. That should help too. Now, do I want more? Because this is all in one library, so I can get pretty lush with these chords if I want. I think I do. So let's see what else we can... Whew, that's pretty intense there. So, 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 so. Sa, do, spa, sa. No. Yeah. Which I think that's going to be an octave. Nope, not quite, but it's... No, it's a third off. That's an octave. So octaves, for anyone who's familiar, when you're composing, especially for multiple instruments, or in this case, multiple voices, octaves. Physically, an octave is double the frequency. If you've got a 100 hertz, that's not right. What is an octave? Octave frequencies. Consulting Google. Okay, no, it is twice. Of course. Harmonics have twice the frequency. Yeah. So, octaves. When you have an octave, which is twice the frequency, let's say you have 400 hertz tone, then if you do an 800 hertz tone, you go from do, do, and so that is the octave. It's a very powerful technique to have both octaves going at the same time, which gives you that no no, and it's the same note, but dramatically more impact because it covers a much broader frequency range. Whereas if we just did one, oh, that's nice. Oh. No, it's like it's just more in your face. The problem is it's a compromise, especially in live performance, where if you do an octave, then you don't have any players left to do more harmonies. So you do octaves when you really want a melody or something like that to stand out, and that's what we want going on here. I didn't like that. Yakult spa. So what we got? B flat. It was a B flat, D, and an F sharp. So we can either octave on one of those. Excuse me. But that's too grounded. It needs to be more chaotic. Crunch going on there. Maybe. No, it just doesn't sound good. This is where better knowledge in music theory would pay off. It's not sounding good. So, let's stop experimenting and focus on what we have and what's needed. Something's needed, I just don't know what it is. Yarkles pasta. Yarkles pasta. Yarkles. Because spa saw, that's too grounded. That actually goes pretty low. I just don't. You can't hear it because it's lost in the everything else. So I think that might work. Because I forgot that one of the things that is a very powerful tool is balance. Inside, especially inside of these more dissonant chords, is instead of doing it full blast, as so, which is the low is just too prominent. It's not good. But if I cut it in half, it's there, but it's not prominent, and so it supports the rest of the chord, which is what I actually care about. But it needs more support to hold up against everything else that's going on. All right, obviously it's a little rough, but it's a step. It's a step. So let's see. Let's try it from a little bit earlier. Oh, I muted them all. I was like, where did my choir go? Sometimes I wonder what I've done with my life. So it just needs to be earlier. Make sure I don't screw that up. Not sure why that sounded weird. Why is it doing that? Why am I getting no? No. Oh, I didn't clean up my mess from earlier. That's why. There we go. That's more like it. Okay, now, I don't love the gap in sound there. Spasa. Okay. Now let's take this down. So what I'm going to do now is play with the release. I kind of like the chords, but it needs to get out of the way of the... Alright, let's take that down a little bit. A little too aggressive. Let's do a fast and shape on that. I don't love that either. Let's try that shape. Spasa. I want that a little bit of trail on there. Let's... Not bad, not bad. It sounds like it's cutting off though. Okay, so it's just cutting off too early, that's all. What can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Different shape. Let's try Bezier. Okay. That sounds decent. Such a cool track. I cannot wait for this to be done. But let's stay focused. I'm about to the end of my session here because I'm getting a little tired. Alright. I need something more there. Because the choir right now is kind of coming out of nowhere. You're like, now rock his head. I'm like, whoa. Somebody, obviously, the mix stage will help with that, but I want it to, again, this is what we think about when we're composing is, we're not going to fix it in the mix. We're going to fix it now by doing a better job with our composing. So, jag går spasa and jag brukar sägas. Alright, so one thing that's kind of annoying is that his hiss his hiss cuts out. And that could be because of how we recorded it. Or it could be because of my muddling around cut off some of that stuff. And I'm really thinking that's more likely. Let's take a look here. Okay, so we're getting the full thing in there. But it's just really cut off. And that's the problem. It's cut off. Oh, I mean, yeah, no, that's part of, that's normal. No, Brooks, so I can either extend his hiss, or I can bring in my own hiss, which we were thinking about doing anyways, because he was like, dude, that hiss was freaking awesome, because I went with like, yes! Just really got it into the throat, like a, bah, yes! And so I want to do that. I should have it here. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I did like 38 takes. That's why it is invisible. All right. Not because. I wonder if I should just record a new one, just because none of it's going to be long enough. I at least want to hear it. Okay. We're going to unmute you, solo you so that we're safe. Make sure the explicit is mute. Okay. Although there's no bad words in this particular section. Let's see. I don't know why that envelope is shaded out like that. Do I have, is it an after effect of some kind? Doesn't look like it. I can, oh, it's bypassed. There we go. That would do it. So we're bringing hiss into this, and now we're going to. And that looks like the hiss there, so I need to bring that back a little bit. And then I can play around with that. If we're just going to try it first and see how it sounds. Make sure that's the sound we want. All right, I'm not hearing what I, oh, because it's soloed. Why am I still not getting sound? Is it too quiet? No, I'm seeing audio. So that tells me, yeah, I muted both of those, didn't I? Just because of the way I've routed it, it has to go through either censored or explicit tracks. That was so cool. Let's see. Sorry, it's just really funny. Oh, but it's cool, and that's why we're doing this. All right, let's see how it sounds with Mason's thing first. I guess just turn off solo and see how it sounds. I don't, yeah. So that's a trick we have in our sleeve. I'm not convinced that I want to keep it. So let's keep on going. What else can we do here? Rockets are taking off and they're landing, which means dum ba-dum ba-dum dum ba-dum ba-dum. Now that could be, I guess that could be both bass and drums. What is bass doing right now? ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, dum, dum. Let's see, let's see. Ba-dum, ba-dum. It needs to be faster. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-dum, 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 do-dum, dum. Ba-dum, ba-dum. What is that going to be? Ba-dum, ba-dum, da-dum, 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 sixteenths. Ba-dum, da-dum, 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 da-dum. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-dum. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Ba-dum, da-dum. After going through all that trouble of extending that lower note. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. That didn't sound right. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Ba-dum, 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 bum. All right. Interesting. Ba-dum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, bum. All right, move that up a beat. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Ah, man. What I want to hear, yeah, full ball saw. Let's take off solo. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. 1, 2. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. So much of this track has stuff off the beat. Yeah, it's driving the pseudonym crazy, but it's what works. It's chaotic, and so it's not always on the beat. Oh, there's your problem. That's supposed to bottom. So that's actually going into the beat. Better. Let's see what drums is doing. I don't need to see what the choir's doing anymore. I need to see what drums is doing. I love that drum fill, but that needs to be on the beat. Maybe slightly. Bum, 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 bum. No, that definitely needs to be earlier. You know, because here's at a bottom, 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 bottom. You know you exist while you're raising your fist. So stretch your animosity and now rocking shit. I'm just trying to live. You know you exist while you're raising your fist. So stretch your animosity and now rocking shit. I'm just trying to live. My friend. Bottom, bum. Bottom, 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 bum. Ba-dum, 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 bum. That needs to happen. Ba-dum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. What is that? Ba-dum, da-dum, 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 da-dum. Now the second do is landing before the beat. Bottom, 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 bottom. That's probably gonna be too short. Or not. Okay, okay, okay. Bottom, 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 bottom. It might be too fast, but it's pretty darn close actually. Bottom, 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 bum. Bottom, 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 bum. Bottom, 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 bum. Let's be over here. That's I'm rushing. I think I'm doing that too fast. Bottom, 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 bottom. Bottom, bottom. Okay, so if I just push that all a bit, and that's probably where I'm rushing. Is it bottom, 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 bottom? Keep it a beat apart, a whole beat apart. Bottom, 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 bottom. Bottom, 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 bum. Bottom, bum. See if I get that right. Bottom, bottom, bottom. Maybe that is too fast. No, I do like the faster version of that. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Dude, what the heck? I want that ba-dum. Boom, boom. Bottom, boom. Ah. I want that to happen earlier, and it's not supposed to happen earlier. So I'm trying to figure out why I want it to happen earlier, because that tells me something else is amiss. That's why, because the drums, they have that extra da 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 da. And that's ba-dum ba-dum ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-dum. So it's a 3-beat signal there. Okay, what can I do there? Alright, I think I want that to start earlier. Keep the metronome at bay. Okay, yeah. This, I love this drum kit and everything that's happening here. But let's move this earlier. Let's trim this up a bit. Boom, 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 boom. Let's focus on the kit here for a moment. Excuse me. So that's going into the beat. Nope. No, I don't like that either. See how that sounds in context.
Yo, what the heck?
Let's get that metronome going. One of my favorite parts about this track is this hi-hat that is on the totally off the beat. It is not even on the end of the beat. It is one E and one E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 4 E and and it's really freaking cool. Just constantly driving.
raising your fist, so raging animosity and now rocking shit. Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying to live.
But
My friends
I actually think that needs to stop for this interlude because we got enough going on. Da, 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 da.
Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying to live.
So that one is going into the second. So I think I need to do the same thing here.
Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying to live.
Okay.
Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying to rocking shit. Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying to
All right, now that we figured out where the rushing was coming from, now I think we can actually push this out a little bit. Ba-dum, 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 bum.
Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying to live. Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying to live. My
Ba-dum,
friends and family.
ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Now, see, that's what I'm feeling. Ba-dum, 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 bum. So why can't I get that feeling into this? Ba-dum, 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 bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, da-dum, 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 dum. I can do that. It matches. Ba-dum, ba-dum, da-dum, da-three, da-four. 1, 2, 3. Da-dum, 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 dum. Oh, no, no, no. Da-dum, da-dum. 1, da-dum, 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 dum. That's... Ay, ay, ay. Kazakos basa. Cause that's the 4. Yakos basa.
Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying to live.
But not entirely. So let's try this. Because what I want to... Bottom, 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 bottom. Da-dum, 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 ba-dum, bum. Bottom, 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 bottom.
Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying
Let's
to
try...
live.
Let's focus on those. The drums and that. Bottom, 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 bum. Bottom, 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 bum. Bottom, 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 bottom. Now, why does that not have as long of a time? Is my tempo off? Yeah, that's what I was wrong. Bottom, 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 bottom. All right, so that's what I want to hear. Bottom, 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 bum. Getting some distortion here, probably from voice meter. All right, let's see if that sounds better. Nope. Somebody's crackling, but I'm almost done here. My brain's crackling too. Okay. Okay. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I'm not digging all that crackling, but we'll hopefully just restarting all this will fix that. So let's take that out.
Hearing on the news is a gal, no your fist. So stretching animosity and now rocking shit. Yo, what the heck, man? I'm just trying to live. My friends and family, my only narrative. Word.
Well, it's progress. I'm not convinced that that's going to stay. Well, actually, I kind of like the interlude there, but it's certainly not going to stay as it is. The Yakos Pasa is it's not feeling quite right, but it is what it is. But I think it's progress. It's been an excellent session inside the studio. Nobody joined up, but maybe somebody will stumble across this and find it useful or entertaining. Entertaining is all I could ever hope for. All right, y'all have a good evening, and until next time. I'm not used to doing this. There we go. Until next time.